imagine that you want to watch a movie, but for that, you have to visit the local DVD store, browse the shelf of DVDs, hoping the latest release isn't already out of stock. You rent it out, watch it, and return it on time. And if not, you will be charged a hefty amount of late fees. Sounds terrible, right? But this was the reality back in 1990s when watching a movie was really a task. But this one man's frustration not only led to the revolution of entire industry, but the way we consume content today. In this episode, we will decode the journey of Netflix and try to understand three very important questions. Number one, how Netflix became the powerhouse of the streaming industry with a whopping net worth of around $350 billion. Number two, how Netflix responds to every obstacle and turn every obstacle into the opportunity. And number three, what is the Netflix winning formula and what are they planning to beat the competition in 2025? So it all started back in 1997 when Blockbuster was the powerhouse in the rental industry with 6,000 physical stores in the US alone and 9,000 physical stores worldwide. And they had an astounding revenue of $3.91 billion. On papers, everything was looking perfect. But the problem here was that 16% of its revenue was coming from late fees, which was annoying millions of its customers. And this is when one of its customers was charged $40 as a late fees. This man, fueled by his frustration, went on to transform the industry and founded his own company that we now know as Netflix. And this man is none other than Reed Hastings. And he was so annoyed with this overall experience that even the tagline of Netflix was no late fees. Netflix offered subscription-based DVD rental services, which means if you want to watch a movie, you can simply order DVDs from Netflix website and they will deliver it to your home in 2 to 3 days. And when you return the DVDs that you already had, they will send you the new ones. And all of this were at affordable subscription fees. In fact, Netflix went on and created a movie recommendation system to alleviate the pressure from newly released DVDs. This movie recommendation system is also used even today and is the backbone of Netflix to enhance the user experience. Because the catalog was online, the users from anywhere in the country could now access Netflix's entire movie library and order it without even visiting the physical store or paying the late fees. This business model attracted a lot of Blockbuster customers who were already fed up of $1 per day late fees. And this is when Netflix started growing exponentially. And in no time, in 1999, Netflix already had 239,000 subscribers. But there was a problem. Despite having such a strong customer base, Netflix was not able to make any profit. And because of this, in 2000, Reed Hastings went on and proposed Blockbuster CEO John Antuco to sell his 49% of stake in Netflix for $50 million, and in an exchange, Netflix will run Blockbuster's brand online. But guess what? Blockbuster simply passed on the deal, believing that Netflix will not add any value to their business because they are not profitable at all. And people, this was the biggest mistake Blockbuster ever did. And its inability to see the vision that Netflix was committed to led to the contrasting fortunes the two companies faced. But the Blockbuster story doesn't end here. And here comes a twist in the tale. Fast forward in October 2004, 4 years later from Netflix's proposal, the Blockbuster got spun off from Viacom and they realized that there's a huge market for online DVD rentals and they started imitating Netflix's business model. Blockbuster introduced online DVD subscription services and offered more movies than their physical stores. They even tried to win back their customers by lowering their prices and by linking their online services with physical stores. And to give tough competition to Netflix, they even removed late fees. This change in business strategy came with a cost. The Blockbuster had to invest $60 million in marketing and implementation of this new business model while letting go of $600 million of annual revenue that they were getting it from late fees. In 2006, Netflix had 6.3 million subscribers, while Blockbuster had 2.2 million subscribers. If we talk in terms of revenue, Netflix had total revenue of $1 billion and Blockbuster had total revenue of $5.3 billion. Still, Blockbuster failed. Why? Because they simply couldn't recover the cost of lost money. Ultimately, in 2010, the Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy and the rest is history. In fact, in one of the interviews, Reed Hastings mentioned how they got lucky.
Really, if they had started 2 years earlier, they probably would have won, in perfect hindsight, because they would have just even though it was messy execution, they would have overwhelmed us. And the other thing is when Viacom spun them out, it saddled them with $1 billion of debt with a lot of tough covenants. And if they had instead given them $1 billion of cash, they might have had enough power. So, it's miraculous that we lived.
But this was not the end of challenges for Netflix. Seeing the exponential growth in DVD rentals, companies like Walmart and Amazon stepped in and started DVD rental services in early 2000s. And later, they expanded DVD rentals by mail service following the Netflix business model, which was definitely giving a very tough competition to Netflix. One very interesting point to be noted, that Walmart and Amazon, they both work on loss leader pricing model for DVD rentals. Meaning, they use DVD rental services only to attract more customers who will purchase other items which will give them the actual profit. In fact, even today, Amazon uses this loss leader pricing model for Prime videos.
Because it's the Prime membership program, from a business point of view, we also like the business results because it drives people to join Prime, and then once they've joined Prime, they enjoy the fast free shipping, so they also buy a lot of products from us. So it's a vehicle to make fantastic content, and from a business point of view, it works for us as well.
With increase in competition, this was a very serious threat to Netflix because they knew that they cannot compete with giants like Walmart, Amazon, Blockbuster in DVD rental space because all of them had a very established businesses and DVD by mail was just one slice of it. Here comes a very interesting fact. In 2005, Google launched YouTube video streaming services, and Netflix understood very early on that with increase in internet consumption, people will prefer watching movies online as compared to DVD rentals. And mind you, this was the second time Netflix revolutionized entertainment industry and became the first ever company in the world to provide online movie streaming services. Netflix started making deals with production giants like Sony, Disney, Paramount, Lionsgate, Warner Bros., acquired the streaming rights and started making profit. But they soon realized that they are heavily dependent on third-party movies and are spending millions of dollars in acquiring the streaming rights, which someday can be taken over by any other company. Anticipating the loss of content, Netflix shifted its focus and started producing their own content. And in 2013, Netflix served us with one of the most popular TV series, House of Cards. Netflix originals like House of Cards and Orange is New Black were so successful that they realized that this is a great advantage for them, as now they can create content in every genre and cover a huge market. On the other side, proving Netflix's anticipation correct, in 2017, Disney announced to pull back their movies from Netflix and start their own streaming services. Well, on papers, it was a perfect idea because Disney earns billions of dollars from their theater releases. And imagine, if they put all of that content on their streaming platform, how much profit they could make. but they finally implemented this strategy in 2019. And just like Blockbuster, they were too late in this game. And this made Netflix #1 streaming platform globally. Fast forward to 2022, Netflix lost 1 million subscribers worldwide. And soon after the news broke, Netflix share fell by 35% and they lost $54.4 billion overnight. Now here comes two very important questions. Number one, why company like Netflix, which has beaten giants like Walmart, Amazon, Disney, Blockbuster in the past, which has always been visionary, has taken strategic decisions, had such a massive dip? Number two, how Netflix managed to overcome even this challenge so quickly? I bet the reasons will surprise you, so please pay a very close attention to this. Netflix hiked its subscription fees in US and Europe in order to fund the content production in Asia, while their competitors were offering services at a cheaper rate or ad-based free streaming. This resulted in loss of 200,000 subscribers for Netflix, and it was one of the core reasons why Netflix had to work on their pricing strategy, given it was the oligopoly market. In March 2022, Netflix acquired its third gaming studio company called Boss Fight Entertainment. But unfortunately, it was the same time when, due to geopolitical reasons, Netflix had to suspend their services in Russia following its invasion of Ukraine, which resulted in losing another 7,000 subscribers. Netflix discovered a very significant issue that was leading to loss of millions of dollars. Surprisingly, 100 million households were accessing Netflix without even paying for it. And this was possible due to shared account credentials. In fact, Reed Hastings himself addressed this concern in one of his interviews.
Remember, these are over 100 million households that already are choosing to view Netflix. They love the service. We just got to get paid, at some degree for them.
Last but not least, the global pandemic and rising inflation, which forced many families to cut down on non-essential spendings, including entertainment. The focus of Netflix was very clear, that is to generate new revenue streams to recover the losses. And so they took two critical decisions. Number one, ad-supported tier. Instead of increasing the subscription fees, Netflix went on and introduced ad-supported tier in 12 countries. And this was actually a win-win solution. Why? Because now customers can afford Netflix at a cheaper price and Netflix can generate more revenue by running the ads. And by 2023, the ad-supported tier had 15 million monthly active users. Number two, password sharing crackdown. Netflix identified one of the biggest loopholes in the system. Millions of households were using Netflix for free through password sharing. In the letter to shareholders published in April 2022, company executives stated that in addition to our 222 million paying households, we estimate that Netflix is being shared with over 100 million additional households. They further mentioned that their focus is how best to monetize sharing the 100 million plus households using another household's account. So early last year, we started testing different approaches to monetize sharing, and in March introduced two new paid sharing features where current members have the choice to pay for additional households in 3 markets in Latin America. By using these two strategies, Netflix was able to stabilize its customer base, and by the end of third quarter, it had 223.09 million subscribers. In the fourth quarter, they even gained 7.66 million new subscribers, ending the year with a total of 230.75 million subscribers worldwide. And this ultimately led the tide to turn again. Netflix managed to maintain its position as the market leader in the streaming industry. In fact, Morgan Stanley went on and proclaimed it the undisputed in Jan 2023 research note. And the very next day, Bernstein declared the company clearly the winner in streaming. In fact, in 2024, Netflix topped the list for most number of subscribers and the best user experience. Now the question is, what is next for Netflix and what are they planning to beat the competition. Number 1. Netflix has started focusing on strategic local partnerships. In 2020, Netflix made a 4-year deal with UK and invested around $6 billion, making it the company's second largest production market after the US. And this investment has paid off with popular shows like Bridgerton, Emily in Paris, The Crown, which has helped Netflix earn millions of dollars in profit. Lately, they realized that UK market has started getting saturated and noticed that 60% of South Korean content is consumed globally on Netflix. So they went on and invested $2.5 billion for the next 4 years in South Korea. A point to be noted that a US dollar value is significantly higher than South Korean won, making it quite a sensible move with higher ROI. Number 2. Localization mastery. Netflix's localization strategy has been a cornerstone of its global expansion. By offering over 30 languages for subtitles and dubbing and a localized user interface, Netflix has successfully penetrated in non-English speaking markets across Europe, Latin America, and Asia. Number 3. Ad-supported growth strategy. Netflix has started phasing out its ad-free basic plan in key markets including US, UK, France, and Canada. This change is part of Netflix's broader strategy to boost its ad-supported tier and to attract more cost-conscious consumers. Number 4. Launch of Netflix House. Inspired by Disney, Netflix has announced to open immersive entertainment venues called Netflix House. The first 2 locations are set to open in 2025 at the Galleria Dallas in Texas and the King of Prussia Mall in Pennsylvania. These venues will feature themed experiences, gift shops, restaurants, inspired by popular Netflix shows like Stranger Things, Bridgerton, Squid Game, and many more. Number 5. Venturing into video games. Netflix has come up with this mind-boggling billion-dollar idea of creating video games with Netflix's popular characters. Since 2021, Netflix has invested around $1 billion in acquiring gaming studios and currently offer more than 120 games for free to their paid subscribers. According to Gartner Insights, global gaming market size is forecasted to hit $424 billion by 2033, and Netflix aims to become a major player in the gaming industry. Number 6. Launch of live sports streaming. Netflix is making big moves in the world of sports streaming with 2 major partnerships. First, they have signed a $150 million 3-year deal with NFL to exclusively stream 2 Christmas Day games starting this year. But that's not all. Netflix has also logged a $5 billion 10-year deal with WWE and will exclusively stream WWE's iconic show Monday Night Raw starting 6 Jan 2025. With a weekly viewership of 1.3 to 2 million, this partnership will significantly boost Netflix's advertising business. Together, these deals will not only just expand Netflix's audience reach, but will also increase subscriber growth and strengthen its brand identity in the competitive streaming market. And number 7, sequel to Netflix's popular shows. After the massive success of Squid Game Season 1, which racked up 1.65 billion hour views within the first 28 days and generated over $900 million in revenue, the excitement for Season 2 is through the roof. Although Netflix has not officially disclosed the anticipated revenue from Season 2, but it is expected to increase subscriber growth and ad revenue, potentially surpassing $1 billion mark. It's time to wind up this case study with 3 very important business lessons. Number 1, embrace disruption and adaptability. Netflix has always been constantly adapting the changing market dynamics. Its journey from mailing DVDs to streaming movies, creating original content, introducing ad, streaming sports to gaming shows that how essential it is to constantly evolve. Netflix's success in the international market came from creating the content that resonates with the local cultures. By understanding the cultural nuances and catering to local taste, Netflix was able to expand its user base beyond US, making it a global powerhouse of entertainment. If you're able to deep dive into the history of any company, their long-term vision and how they respond in the events of crisis, you will be able to identify the growth or downfall of that company way before it actually happens. Let me know what are your key lessons in the comment section, and I'll see you next time.